Again, welcome everybody to Creating an Effective LinkedIn. I'm so excited that you're here today. I'm so excited to share this new content with you that we've been putting together to help you create an effective LinkedIn network and profile. My name is Rachel White. For those of you that have not been with me in a session before, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. I hope that you'll be joining us for future sessions after this. And for those of you returning, welcome back. And I'm so glad that you're here for this particular topic because it is so important. And so again, we are going to go through some really great information. You are all going to get a workbook after this class with extra information and resources. So you're going to have all of the examples, everything at your disposal after this. So make sure that you look for your email afterwards because I'm going to send that to you. And again, I'm going to give you the opportunity to ask me any questions so I can answer them at the end. And I'm going to hopefully be able to have some time and navigate a LinkedIn profile with you. So let's go ahead and get started. Why create a LinkedIn? This is one of the objectives that we're going to talk about today. Why is it important? Why should you have one, right? For those of you just starting out, it's a great place to start. You need to understand the importance of this social media platform, this professional networking platform, so you can utilize it not only in your job search, but throughout your career. We're also going to learn how to create an account. It's very easy, step by step, and you're going to get that guide in your workbook as well at the end. We're going to talk about how to create your personal brand on LinkedIn and why identifying what your personal brand is so important now in the job market and when you're searching for a job and networking online. We're going to cover step by step how to build your profile. So we're going to look at the different sections and how to make those really stand out. And then at the end, we're going to talk about downloading the LinkedIn app. And so again, your workbook's going to have a lot of additional resources. We don't have enough time to go over all of the amazing information in one class. So I'm going to be providing you with that in your workbook. So let's get it started. So why create a LinkedIn profile, right? You might have been tossing around the idea for a while. You may have thought that it was something optional, didn't really need it, right? But it is so important, especially now that job search has really moved into this digital realm and that you're doing a lot of things virtually online. And this is not expected to change too much. We're going forward. And so we need to be able to adapt to this ever-changing workforce, this job market, and be competitive and marketable, okay? And so you want to be able to utilize LinkedIn for yourself in your job search to the best that you can. And while leveraging your LinkedIn is a completely different topic, we are going to talk about some really good key points that you can start with to make that happen. And LinkedIn existed before Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. It has over 600 million users worldwide today. It's considered the largest professional networking site where employers and job seekers really collide and get to interact in that virtual environment. And so it's super important, really, really important, because it's got a job board, right? Not only that, you can research different companies, employees, connect with people in industries that you're interested in. You can build your brand. We're going to get into that more in just a little bit. And it's really going to help you make your mark and identify yourself. And recruiters and hiring managers can really take a look at your profile and say, wow, this person is really interesting. I want to reach out to them. It can help rank your name on Google. When you have a complete profile and it is got everything filled out and it's up to date, you are going to show up on a Google search if you were to type your name in. It can also help you maintain contacts. So, you always thought of Facebook as a great way to do that, But LinkedIn is now, a really great place to do that. And you can always see what other people that you know are up to in their careers. And making sure that you keep it up to date is crucial, as not only, again, you job search, but you engage in your career and you meet and build more connections over time. So you can also tap into industry news and trends. You can follow companies, and that ties into that research part. When you're doing job search, I need to know as much as I can about this company before I apply. I need to know for writing my resume, my cover letter, going to the job interview. So important. And most of all, networking. Okay. The power of networking is extraordinary when it comes to your job search. Okay. So being that a lot of things in job search have moved, like I said, to this digital environment, it's crucial you now network online and not just in person. So networking is a completely different topic all on its own. And there's so much importance to it. But please join us for Effective Job Search Strategies, where we outline how to effectively network, okay? Because you can reach out to recruiters, hiring managers, again, companies that you want to work for through this platform. So that's why you need to create a LinkedIn profile. So there are some secret steps, and this is from a great article that I was reading recently, and it just talks about the secret things that really optimize and take you to the next level in comparison to other people on LinkedIn. So that part of that is creating a brand for yourself, which we'll get into, and then expressing that brand through your key sections of the profile, which are your headline, your summary, and experience. Okay. Getting endorsements and recommendations added to your profile. If you don't know what those are, no worries. We're going to go over those today and talk about how they can add value to that profile. You then want to customize your LinkedIn URL as much as you can. And we'll show you that in the navigation stage when we get online, so you can make sure that it's customized for you. It doesn't have a ton of random numbers and letters, and you can put that on your resume, your professional email signature, etc. And then, of course, follow influencers and companies. So add those to your interest list. And again, we'll talk about how to do that. But then you can know what different industries are up to, so you are constantly aware of different opportunities that are out there, what they're looking for, etc. So there's a lot of really cool things you can do to set yourself apart and optimize that LinkedIn profile. So I'm talking about personal branding, right? And some of you guys may think, what is that? We know what brands are. We see them every day: McDonald's, Walmart, Target, the list goes on and on, right? But what is personal branding, and why do I need to do that, right? Because you as a job seeker need to think of yourself as a business of one. It's the process of really developing your stamp, your mark that you've created, okay, around your values, your name, your career. And you use this to express and communicate those skills, your personality, and your values. And so when someone looks at your LinkedIn profile or your website, right, online, what impression are you giving them? Okay, you need to think of yourself as a brand of one. What are you selling? What is your unique value proposition? So again, on social media, no matter the platform, but especially LinkedIn, you need to make sure that you're managing your reputation. You are in control, right? And you want to be in control of the impressions other professionals are going to have of you, okay? So again, this is your image, your values, your mission, your vision. It's not just your resume, it's more of a narrative, more of a career story, and giving them those extra tidbits to take a look at. And I can promise you, hiring managers and recruiters are looking at you before you even realize it on LinkedIn. And so it's really important to have these things on there. So when you are thinking about developing your personal brand. And after this session, I want you to really spend some time and take that time and figure out what your personal brand is. Okay. And so you can ask yourself these questions. How do I make people feel? So when I work with someone, when I provide a service, how do I make them feel? How do people that I work with benefit? What words would other people use to describe me? If you don't know, get information. Ask a former colleague or supervisor. Ask another professional, network connection, somebody you know, even personally, across the board, what would people say about you in terms of your values, your characteristics, right? What field or industry are you in? Or what do I want to be in? And really customize it to that. What are the words I would use to describe who my target audience is? Okay. What service do I have to offer people? What do I do that makes me stand out from everyone else? And that right there is the most important part. And that is something you're thinking about when you're writing a cover letter, but it's very important on your LinkedIn so people can get a very good sense of who you are and what's unique about you by looking at you online. And then on LinkedIn, what type of content do I want to post? Again, when I post content, people will see a trend. Okay, what does this person tend to post about? This is what they're interested in. This is their direction. So you need to be asking yourself all of these things as you engage on LinkedIn. So how to create an account. All of you guys may be totally brand new to LinkedIn and you want to know how to create an account. Okay, these directions are step-by-step in your workbook, but it's very simple. You're going to go to linkedin.com to get started. You're going to enter in your email. Okay, you're going to choose a password, click agree and join, verify your email, and choose a basic or premium account. Now, I recommend all of you start with a basic account. Okay, I have a basic account. I've never felt the need to have a premium account. It's up to you what you choose. Okay, but a premium account does cost you a monthly subscription. So keep that in mind. However, a lot of career strategists, a lot of professionals, and myself, I believe that you can do more than enough things with a basic account. Okay, so start there. This is a very short video and I'm going to be including it into the email after this. So you'll have a link. It's about 1.5 minutes and it literally goes step by step on how to create a LinkedIn account. Okay. I will go ahead and play it for you. But again, I will be providing this in the email afterwards as well. Okay.
Creating a LinkedIn account is pretty simple. You'll just need an email address and a few minutes of your time. Let's take a look at how it works. To get started, go to linkedin.com in your web browser. Enter your information, choose a password, and then click the join button. LinkedIn will guide you through the steps of adding more detail to your profile. Next, you'll need to verify your email address. To do this, go to your inbox, look for the message from LinkedIn, and then click the confirmation button. You can also choose to sync the contacts list from your email account at this time. This will make it easier to find people you already know on LinkedIn, so we recommend you do this eventually. However, if you don't want to do it right now, you can just skip it. A few more screens will appear, asking for your professional interests. Like with email contacts, you can skip these steps if you'd rather deal with them later. However, we encourage you to explore everything LinkedIn has to offer to ensure you're getting the most out of it. After the sign-up process, LinkedIn may ask you to upgrade to a premium account, which costs a monthly subscription fee. While a premium account provides additional features, such as more messaging options and job opening details, we found that you can get a lot out of LinkedIn using just the free account. We recommend sticking with that one for now. Now that your account is set up, you're ready to start creating your profile and adding connections.
It's super simple, guys. So if you need assistance with this, definitely reach out to a Workforce Solutions staff member or myself, and I can help you with it. but let's get that account created, even if you're still on the fence about LinkedIn, because it's going to offer you so much value. And also, if you're interested in LinkedIn Learning, which is a free tool that we offer exclusively to our job seekers through Workforce Solutions Rural Capital Area, where you can take free courses, you need to have a LinkedIn account so we can merge the two. So even if you want it just for LinkedIn Learning, go ahead and set up a new account. Now let's talk about building your profile section by section, okay? And really, if you've been on LinkedIn before and you've ever noticed someone's profile, it's very easy because it's kind of got a linear pathway where you're just going out and filling all of the sections from top to bottom. So it's not very complicated. The great thing is that you can do sections one at a time. You can continue to edit them anytime you want. You can do them out of order. So it's up to you. And you have the opportunity in the settings to not make it available and keep it private until you've finished it also. So let's go ahead and start from the beginning. You want to make sure that your LinkedIn profile looks professional, that you have a professional headshot, okay? You have a cover photo preferably, which is the photo behind your headshot, and you want to have what's called a catchy headline, okay? So as you can see here on the screen, this is your cover photo, this is your professional headshot, and this is your headline. So when you're thinking of a headline, we really want you to go beyond just putting your work title, okay? We want you to have keywords that pertain to your industry, pertain to your occupation, okay? Did you know that these keywords are actually searchable by recruiters and employers? So it's important to make sure that you have the top skills, whether quantitative, qualitative, in that headline, okay? And so we'll talk about the rest of these functions as well, but you want to make sure that you get a great headline going. So let's take a look at a couple of examples. And again, these examples will be in your workbook, but this headline is your profile's most valuable real estate, okay? It'll default at the beginning and it'll create your headline based on the current position or the job that you're interested in, but you need to go in and edit it to whatever you want. And you have 120 characters to work with, okay? So take a look at some of these examples and think about how you would design your headline, okay? And make some notes. What are your top skills? What are the things that you would want the keywords to pop out at hiring managers and recruiters as soon as they saw your profile? Again, these can be soft skills or they can be hard skills. As you can see, Dawn here is a senior digital marketing manager, but she also has the SaaS product marketing, customer relationship marketing experience, and the business to customer experience. And so she wanted to make sure as her valuable assets, she relayed those in the beginning of her profile so everybody could see, okay? So you want to make sure that you're grabbing people's attention, all right? There's a lot of different examples that you can go look at online. And really what I suggest you do is go to LinkedIn and search for people in your same industry, okay, or occupation, and take a look at what their headlines say, okay? How can you not be just the generic, boring headline, but how can you really come across as interesting and will catch someone's eye, okay? Place that emphasis on keywords. Your LinkedIn summary. Your LinkedIn summary is the next section, and it needs to be amazing, okay? Your LinkedIn summary is really the opportunity to tell your career story up to 2,000 characters, okay? So we don't want just, that basic summary that you would write on a resume. We want a little bit more of a narrative, a little bit more in depth, okay? Your career story. but follow a clear structure so you're not rambling and so you're not jumping around from idea to idea. So it's up to you how you want to do that. Start with a strong opener, okay? There are a lot of examples online with that. I'm going to show you one shortly, but you want to make sure that that is strong, okay? Something that's going to catch someone's attention. State your mission. What are you all about? What is your career all about? Again, it's hard to write this without first identifying your personal brand, okay? Speak to your industry expertise, okay? If you are switching careers, what transferable skills do you have that you can relate to this new industry? Again, always accentuating the positive. Call out those specialties and skills. Provide data to back up your results. If you have a really great accomplishment or a result that you've driven in the past in your work experience, what data can I back that up with? If you are on the recruiter side, if you're in HR and you utilize this as a tool, you can also say that your team is hiring, your company's hiring, and use it that way. You can highlight professional interests. You know, if you are interested in a particular organization, association, right? You can put that in there. You can include contact information, but make sure that you break up large blocks of text so you have some white space and it's very easy to read, okay? And there are some more examples within your workbook as well as you're thinking about this summary. If you don't feel that you're a strong writer and you'd like help with this, again, look at examples of people in your industry and kind of how they approach that situation of writing their summary, and get family members, get colleagues, friends to go through and take a look and really make sure that you're optimizing your summary. Here's an example of someone and their initial summary. It'll say about, okay? And that is your summary. And so you can see how she starts. I'm a skilled communicator with a passion for prospecting and social savvy to turn relationships into revenue. Pretty powerful, huh? And then she starts off the second paragraph with an example from her past, kind of a little quote of her remembering something from, you know, when she was younger. And so adding that personal touch and element is going to attract people and want them to read more. Recruiters and hiring managers see resumes all day long. They see profiles all day long. Again, always be asking yourself, what can I do to stand out? Okay. And you can see this person as well with their headline and the different things that they've put in there. You know, let's take, for example, you're a really strong relationship builder, and that's something you pride yourself on. That's something you would want to have in your headline and be talking about in your summary section. The next section of your LinkedIn profile is your featured and dashboard area, okay? The featured area is really cool. And in this featured area, all you have to do is say add featured. And when you do, you have these options to add specific content posts or articles to your profile, maybe that you've published. You do have that ability, by the way, to publish articles on LinkedIn if you are a subject matter expert in something. You can put links to show web content. Let's say you're a graphic designer and you want to put a link to your website that you have or your portfolio that someone can go and take a look at. Media, photos, documents, presentations, videos that of testimonies, right, that people have maybe recorded about you, things like that. All of this creates an effective LinkedIn, but it also adds a lot of value, right? It's not just this shell of a profile that you've created just to be on LinkedIn. It's really making sure that you're optimizing it as much as you can and putting really, really cool info on there. Then you've got your dashboard, and this is private to you, and I'm showing it to you because really what it is just some statistics, basically. It'll tell you who has viewed your profile in the past week, how many post views you've had. So let's say you post an article, right? You post an event flyer, something like that. You can see how many views you've gotten. You can see how many times you've appeared in a search. You know, that might be a recruiter, or that could just be another professional, or it could be a company, right? You'll get the all-star rating once your profile is complete. And then these are just some additional options where you can go in and take a look at salary insights and look at items that you are working on in LinkedIn as well. So if you have saved jobs, or if you are taking courses through LinkedIn or writing articles, you can keep track of that. Your activity section, the little box right below that, is just tracking and showing you what activity you've been doing on LinkedIn. So whether you comment on somebody's post, or you've shared a post, or you've written something, or you have shared, again, some type of information, anything that you've done is going to be on your activity section. And you can always go back and see all of your activity that you've done. Your experience section. So your experience section, right, is really where you want to tell your career story. And it's so funny, you know, after looking at a lot of new information, because I'm always going over and seeing what's relevant, what's new, what's innovative, what's the best thing to do when it comes to job search. You know, I'm like, I need to revamp my LinkedIn a little bit, because you, again, want this to not just be necessarily a copy and paste from your resume. While you can do portions of that, it's really better, again, to do the narrative and add more to your career story. So that's up to you. But you want to make sure you have the who, what, why, when, and where when it comes to your work experience. So again, those recruiters can see that. You know, before you even apply for a job, you might have somebody reach out to you on LinkedIn and message you and say, hey, based on your profile, I'm interested in looking at you. Okay. Again, try not to copy from your resume and just paste. Make it a little bit more in depth than that. Make sure to use industry keywords and phrases. Okay, this is very similar to what we talk about when customizing a resume and making sure that you have those industry related and specific keywords and phrases, because again, those will pop up in searches as well. Okay, and make it relevant. You know, I always get the question, how do I do my work experience on LinkedIn? Because I can't just customize it, right? Well, what recruiters want, what companies want to see is relevancy. Okay, what have you been doing recently? And how are you putting your work experience on there to show your transferable skills if you're a career changer? Okay, how are you writing that? Again, you have to identify your brand and your focus. You know, so if you're trying to break into sales, right, you want to make sure that your experience section, your summary section, everything embodies that interest and those skills you have in sales. Okay, so make sure that you're really thinking about that when you write that experience section. Okay, these are just some fun statistics. 91% of employers prefer their candidates to have work experience included into their profile. Okay, again, they can't really get a good idea about you and your career story if you don't have anything in there. So make sure you give that some thought. Words to avoid. This is just kind of a quick tip. And the reason is because you want to avoid buzzwords, right? And what buzzwords are these really general, you know, overly used terms that people put into things, but they don't really have any meaning attached to them. So when you put in phrases, okay, and structure your work experience and your summary, right, you want to make sure that you're backing up these adjectives and these words with results that came from that, what you achieved, your accomplishments. Okay, so instead of just saying, you know, I was a great salesperson, how? It's the same concept with your resume. Okay, you want to make sure that you can give some specifics. Okay, because when you just have those general statements, it's again, not setting you apart as a unique candidate. So that's what we want to do, okay? Again, carefully pick those industry relevant keywords. Next is your education and training section. Your LinkedIn should always list your highest academic level, okay? And you always want to enter in degrees and certifications, all right? So making sure that you have that in there is adding a lot of value. And through LinkedIn Learning, you can take courses and actually add those certifications that you get from taking the courses into your profile. So that's a great way to build your LinkedIn profile and interact with it in order to, over time, get that value built up and going, right? You want to put activities, clubs, and organizations that you participated in. But again, always remember, what is the intention? What type of audience am I trying to attract? So if there's something you don't want on there because you don't think that it's going to be relevant to what you're trying to attract or your brand, don't have it on there. But a lot of employers like to see volunteer activities and organizations that people participate in. So that is something worth mentioning. You just need to be thinking intentionally about the information you put on there, okay? And LinkedIn users who list their education appear in 17 times more searches than those who don't, okay? So again, this is also stressing the importance of completing your profile and making it effective. So here's just an example of the education and training section. Similar to your resume, remember, we want relevancy. So omit dates over 15 years, okay? Recruiters want to see more recent information on your LinkedIn profile, okay? And if you are getting certifications, if you are taking those LinkedIn courses, they will be added here, okay? So these are things that you can be doing between jobs in the interim to show that you're growing and building your professional skill set, okay? Volunteer experience, very simple. All of these guys, every section of LinkedIn, you're simply going to click the plus button and it will ask you to fill out that information. It's not really difficult to add anything or remove anything from LinkedIn. You'll notice these little pencils. This is where you can go in at any time and edit. So it's always moldable, right? And always able to be changed. The most important thing is having a great impact and having it complete. The next section on the page of your profile is called the skills and endorsements page. And these are extremely important on LinkedIn. They act as validation that you have certain aspects that an industry is looking for. And so what you can do is add up to 50 skills. We're talking technical, non-technical skills, right? Soft skills. And in order to do that, you will scroll down to the skills and endorsement section. You'll click add a new skill and you'll see on the next page how they pop up. And you just type in that keyword, it will pop up and you click add. Very easy. And then you can see here, right, that someone has given an endorsement for this skill. You see these numbers next to all of the different skills, right? People giving endorsements and basically saying, yes, I know that this person is competent in this area. So that's what you're looking to do. Build your top skills in there that you want to be known for and look for connections that can endorse these skills. And then make sure you go and reciprocate with your network. People that you're connected to, go look at theirs and make sure to endorse them for their skills. This is all part of that online networking. Like I was talking about on the previous slide, when you click on add skills, this is what it's going to look like. And so it's going to give you suggestions based off of your profile information, but you can go in if you don't see it and type in that particular skill to search for and add to this section, okay? You can click the suggested skills based off of your profile too, but again, think about what keywords do I want out there? What am I trying to attract? What am I trying to really brand myself as and showcase? Think about those things as you're adding these skills. The next part within the skills and endorsement section, you have the ability to take assessments, okay? And in order to do that, you would click on Take Skill Quiz. So when you do that, the LinkedIn Skills Assessment, it basically takes you through this very short 15-question test so you can demonstrate the level of your skills, and you get what's called a verified skills badge if you pass it. So a verified skills badge is just another one of those things that adds value to your profile and saying, yes, this person took this assessment and they got a high score, and so they have this verified skills badge. And so within these assessments, like I said, they are basically 15 multiple choice questions, okay? And each question tests at least one concept or sub-skill related to that area, okay? The questions are timed, and so you have to complete this in one session. And when you click on the skills assessment, Take Skills Quiz, you will see these recommended assessments right here. But you can click on all or industry knowledge or tools and technology. And let's say that you know a lot about Microsoft Excel. You can take this assessment, pass it, and earn the skills badge, which will be displayed on your profile. Again, very simple ways for you to add value. Recommendations. Recommendations are one of the best parts for me on LinkedIn. I really, really like them because it's like having a reference on your actual profile that recruiters and hiring managers can already read. So these are basically great ways to get recognized for your accomplishments and what you're good at, okay? Your connections can give you these recommendations, and they validate your special skills and expertise, and they paint a more vivid picture of how you work, right? Your special character traits and qualities. And really, it's just awesome because someone can go right there and look at a personal recommendation from someone that they've written about you and really get a good sense of who you are without even having to contact you. So this is very important to me in the LinkedIn profile. There is a way to go about asking for recommendations, and that is in your workbook as well. You can do that from your profile, or you can do that from one of your connections profiles and ask or request that they write one for you. And so really, when you do that, you want to make sure that you are getting, again, impactful and intentional recommendations. So what do I mean by that? You want to make sure that you're targeting the right people, okay? Try to get 2 from your most important former position, right? And ultimately, it'd be great if you could have 5 to 10 recommendations on your profile. It'd be really awesome. So that's what we want to work towards, as many as possible, right? But pick those people thoughtfully. Who's really going to speak to my industry expertise or my adaptability, my skills, whatever that might be, and ask those people. And so what you do is you would toggle over, and this is something I can show you when we go navigate, but your connections, they have a profile. And when you're on their profile, you will go to the More action right underneath their headline, and you can click Request a Recommendation. And so you write them a short message and ask them to write one for you. And you want to make sure you personalize it and you approach it with specificity. Okay, so what would you like them to write about? You know, hi, Jill, I hope everything's going well in Texas. I'm writing to ask if you'd be willing to give me a LinkedIn recommendation that highlights my crisis communication skills, Ideally, I'd love for you to outline the experience you had with me through the DEF CON 5 initiative last year in Tulsa. I'm working hard to transition into a senior communications role, and most of the employers I'm considering put a strong focus on crisis communications. So that is an example of a way that you can word a request to one of your connections for them to write a recommendation. Again, adding that personalization. Lastly, on your profile page, you'll see your interest section. So when you're looking at your interest section, you want to make sure that you add professional, not personal interest necessarily. Now, those can overlap. Of course, a lot of times we're invested in things personally that we are in professionally. But again, think about the intent and the way that you want to come across whenever you are adding these interests. Okay, so these could be specific companies, right? Organizations, associations that you're a part of, anything relevant to your industry skills and experience. So it's very simple. You just would go to the search bar at the top, okay, which is on every page that you're on LinkedIn. And let's say you want to follow Apple. Okay, you can see when I type in Apple, it will say company for consumer electronics. I click on that and immediately I'm taken to their LinkedIn page. I want to click the follow button. And when I do that, that's going to add it to my interest list. I'm also going to see posts from them in my feed, okay, when I log into LinkedIn, where all of the information is shared. So by following them, you're going to be able to see information every time you log in. Those are the basic sections of your profile. However, once you start building out your profile, you have the ability to add profile sections. As you scroll down your profile page, a ribbon is going to come up. So, this little bar, and you have a drop down and it says add profile section. Okay, so you may have extra things aside from the basics that you want to add, right? You can do the drop down for accomplishments. If you get a lot of awards, you have honors or special things you've been recognized for, you definitely want to add an accomplishment section. So you can put that in there. So again, you can get recognized for things that you've done. And again, recruiters, other professionals can see that as well. Finally, I really recommend you guys download the app. Very easy to do, very easy to log into. I have it on my phone. I am probably on LinkedIn about at least 10 to 15 minutes a day. That way, I'm keeping up with industry trends by going through the newsfeed, and then I'm able to connect with people. You should constantly be building connections in LinkedIn. It's different than other social media platforms in a way because you want to connect with people you don't know, so you can know them. That's the strength in the connections. So again, everything with LinkedIn should be approached with an intention, all right, in order to personalize your brand and make it known, and then attract that attention from professionals that you want to network with and companies that you want to network with. So it's very easy to download the app. It's available on the Android and the iPhone. And so go to your app store, your Google Play Store, and make sure you download that. The specific directions are in your workbook for each type of phone. And so then you can bring that to your cell phone, have it logged in, and always have it with you. That way you're notified of people that want to connect with you. You can look at those industry trends on the fly. Again, there's a lot more to LinkedIn past your profile, and that is a lot of information for another time, but just creating an effective LinkedIn starts with these pieces and parts that we discussed. At the end, I'm going to be also sending you a really great LinkedIn checklist. So when you've gone through, you've created your account, you've built your profile, I want you to make sure that you go back through this LinkedIn checklist and you make sure you have your basics covered. And it's going to make you rethink, do I need to take another look at my headline, my summary, right? All of these things, are they in there? Are those covered? And then you can make sure that your profile is off of private and you can share that with other people. So what I am going to do now, guys, is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take you to the LinkedIn profile. I'm going to take you to mine, and so we can navigate a little bit and show this to you. Want to mention this right before we do that, this LinkedIn video course about learning LinkedIn, it's about an hour and a half. It gives you some of those extras, and it is also going to be linked in the email afterwards. It's going to be linked in your workbook as well. So I really recommend you go on and watch this. This is one of those ones that you can watch without being a LinkedIn Learning member. But again, ask a Workforce Solutions staff member to sign you up after you've created your account so you can start utilizing what's called LinkedIn Learning to update, enhance, add professional skills to your profile. So let's go ahead and take a look and navigate that LinkedIn profile.